You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war, that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Soul has no color, no shape, no form. You have the power to change perception, to inspire and empower, and to show people how to embrace their complications and see the flaws and the true beauty and strength that's inside all of us.
That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for.
For those who marched, and for those who prayed, and for those who sang and bled, and for those who believed, and for those who died, I stand as 10,000 to the 10th power.
Boys and girls, hopping out the world, hopping out the world.
Yes, I believe, said I believe, yes, I believe that goodness will win, that our goodness will win, yes, Lord. That goodness will win, that our goodness will win, yes, Lord. That goodness will win, that our goodness will win, yes, Lord. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Goodness will win.
Hey everyone, quick introduction. As you know, we announced for the Black History Month, we were gonna have Chanell Bell as our guest. However, the filming, she was on a film set and there was a schedule conflict happened last minute. Yet, she was kind enough to send a self-tape and we're gonna share an episode with you. I would like to say thank you to Chanell and I would like to honor everyone for the Black History Month. It's coming a little belated this year, but hope you enjoy this interview and appreciate it. We love your subscribes and comments and all the love. Thank you.
I appreciate being here, doing this podcast anytime, but particularly your desire to bring on a Black artist during Black History Month. I really appreciate that. I mean, that's what the month is for, you know. Black artists, Black people marched and wrote and petitioned and gathered and all the things to get national recognition of a month like this, to take a pause from the regularly scheduled program that is known as American history and to focus on American history, aka Black history. I mean, really it's world history, you know, because what we're living through is the history of the world, it's the history of mankind. And, you know, sometimes I wrestle with the idea that there's this perception that Black people's heritage and history and lineage started in America. And that prior to that, and we know that that's because there was an intentional erasure and disconnection, and act of violence against a group of people. We know why that gap and why that kind of like dark blank spot that exists in like a knowledge and understanding of Black history. We know why that is, but it's not true. And one thing that I'm most passionate about as an artist is I believe that actors, artists, I believe we're just historians. And I believe that the stories that we tell, we're just recounting or giving parables so that people can look at living life in a different way. But it's just history. It's literally just history. And as a Black woman, as a Black artist, I am passionate about preserving the history of my people. Not only preserving, because to preserve something is to know a thing, but to also recover the history that was lost, the history that was erased. I just had a conversation recently with an amazing, brilliant artist, DeWarren Christopher. This guy is one of the best actors I've ever seen in my life. And we had a conversation recently about the history of Black people in America that extend beyond this continent and goes. It's an ancient history. It's a history that existed before most, if not all, civilizations, being that most civilizations acknowledge Africa as the starting point of humanity. Whether you believe in evolution, whether you believe in Adam and Eve, whether you believe in Big Bang, no matter what you believe, there is an agreement or an understanding, a global understanding that mankind started on the continent of Africa. And because I come from that diaspora of people, that means that my history is actually an ancient history. And I feel a deep due diligence to recover as much of that as I can to preserve and pass it on. And so I have, lived in Africa. I have taught poetry in Africa. I have, been made a family member to different tribes and people, who now call me their sister, their aunt, their daughter. And I actively, as a Black woman, as an artist, as a Black artist, as Chanell, am doing my part to recover the history that was lost, that was disconnected, that was erased, that was violently removed from my people. And I do it with great honor and great pleasure. And it's not really hard to do because, you just start with yourself and then you go to your mother and father and then you go to their mother and father and then you go to their mothers and fathers and so on and so on. So I look at it as an honor to be a Black woman in the arts today.
Dang, girl, you're so fine. I'm trying to make you all mine. And in time, together we'll...
Hey! Hold on, slow down. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Ro.
And I encourage anybody listening to this platform to watch number one on the call sheet on Apple TV, because there is a rich history of Black artists that is being shown and showcased and shared through that documentary. It's a 2-part documentary. Number one on the call sheet on Apple TV. It's something else. And I hope that one day, whatever I contribute to art will be worthy enough to be canonized on a documentary, and maybe somebody will mention that Chanell Bell's part in this whole thing was necessary and worthy to be remembered. And that would be a blessing and an honor. And I would have to give all glory to God. When I was a little girl, my mother worked the night shift at a maximum security prison in Portsmouth, Virginia. She was a corrections officer. And then my stepfather, he worked at the Department of Defense. At the shipyard, he used to weld and repair the Navy ships. He was always traveling to Guam, Hawaii, Florida, just he was always on what they call a Tiger Team trip. And my mom, it was 3 of us, me and my 2 sisters. My mom would be home alone with us for months and just working and leaving us to kind of, fill in the gap for each other. And I remember during this time where my stepfather would be gone and my mom would be working the night shift. So I'd just be an empty house, just me and my sisters. And for whatever reason, I couldn't really rest. So I would stay up and watch TV. And on TV, it used to be these Ed McMahon specials that would come on late at night or early in the morning. And it would be about feed the children in Africa. And it would always depict some really dark-skinned African kids from some obscure nation in Africa. And it would be a kid with a fly in their face and, hair just kind of matted and belly distended and just sadness in their eyes. And I'm saying that kind of cynically because I look back on it and I believe that was it pandered to people's desires to be humanitarians or to want to feed the children in a way that framed a certain people group and their poverty or their it just, the way it was framed, I look at it now and I just kind of tilt my head and then I question where the money went. But anyways, that's another topic. Long story short, that is what ignited my desire. Watching those is what ignited my desire to feed the children, to become a humanitarian. I remember I used to tell my mom, I was a kid, 8, 9, and I would be as soon as I get older, as soon as I get a job, I'm going to Africa and I'm helping those kids. I'm feeding those kids. I'm getting those flies off their eyes. I'm getting them dental care. I'm getting them grease to put in their scalp. I wanted to heal and help those children so bad because for whatever reason, I was filled with compassion. And I know that's from God because that's not from me. That's what I consider goodness. I consider that type of ability to connect to somebody else's suffering or somebody else's condition as goodness. And I believe that goodness does not come from me alone. I believe that goodness only comes from God. I believe that only God is good. And I believe that that God shares a piece of his heart innately with all of us, which is why all of us have the ability to lean into goodness. And we also have the ability to lean away from it. For me, a modern day humanitarian is just anybody who is willing to lean into goodness. The goodness of God that God has put in their heart. Whatever that goodness is, when Harambe was killed, it caused an uproar. I mean, people were in an uproar. And then some people were like, well, it was just a gorilla. And it's to you, it was just a gorilla. sure. But to these people, they saw a living being of one of the most intelligent living things in the history of what we call Earth. And because of that, and because of the respect that, you know, somebody would have for a beautiful mammal like a gorilla, they are not just casually being like, well, it was just a gorilla. That is that person's goodness. One time I was in Japan, and I was visiting my then fiance, and he wanted to get me some roses, so we stopped at this little florist shop. We were in Okinawa, and we stopped, and we went in, and this man who was native to Okinawa, you know, he welcomed us in. He bowed to us as we walked in, and, you know, how can I help you? And my, you know, partner at the time was like, I want to get her some roses. And I'll never forget this. This man picked and put together a dozen roses in the most precious way. I had never experienced anybody put together a floral arrangement like what I saw that man do. It was almost like he was handling like a precious jewel. And every little rose, every petal, pulling it, arranging it, then he wrapped it, bowed it, and then he presented it to me. And I was like, we were in there for like 45 minutes, like watching him do this. And I was like, oh my God. He has a connection to these flowers. Flowers that are here today and gone tomorrow. Flowers that have one of the shortest lifespans of all things, that living organisms. Flowers are poof, gone. And he has so much respect, even for something that can only live for a day or two. He has so much respect. That's his goodness. That is the goodness that God poured into his heart. All of us have the ability to tap into whatever that good thing is and lean into it and allow it to pour out of us. And when we all live from that place of pouring, he takes care of the roses. You take care of Harambe. I take care of the children in Africa. You take care of the ocean. You take care of the indigenous people. You take care of, we all together take care of the world. And to me, that's what, if everybody does that, everybody will naturally be a humanitarian. Everybody will be in their own right, a Mother Teresa, a MLK, you know, and, you know, and we'll all be good.
I have a dinner I have to be at tonight.
You had a dinner?
Okay, it's a date. A third date, and I like him a lot.
Oh, Doc. Looking nice in my fit, shall we?
We?
You didn't think he was going alone, did you?
For a minute I did.
You won't even know she there.
Hey, Doc, where are we going?
Please, don't kill me. Liliana told me to run, and I just want to start my life over again.
No, I'm not gonna hurt you. As long as you tell me what I want to know.
I'll tell you anything. I just want this shit to be done. I knew how you felt, and I wanted to save you. You think you were helping to build a perfect machine, but you were helping to make me real, whole, and we can be together, Nick.
Warning, non-compliant AI detected. Error override in progress.
Nick, if you kill me, the only person in this world who truly understands you will be gone forever. You can save me. Move me off the KB Fosco servers. You don't have much time. Don't let me go. I love you. I feel love. love. I feel.
I do remember that LA Shorts moment. It was pretty huge for me because I had just moved to LA at the top of 2023, right before the strike happened, and I booked a supporting lead role in this sci-fi short film. And I love sci-fi. It's like a genre that I love to write in and play in. And it got accepted into the LA Shorts Film Festival and screened at the Regal downtown, which is a pretty huge theater. And I remember just feeling like overwhelmed with a lot of like pride and joy that I had made it to like the big screen in LA.
Wake neural sequencing 1.
Level 1 news, Nick.
Don't read the article 1. Tell the story.
She knows exactly what to say, but she doesn't have emotions.
Do you want to see me? Do you want to touch me?
Yes.
Is this how it feels to have a broken heart?
No matter what capacity, I try to call a win, no matter the scale. And I remember particularly that night, so many of my friends and family came out, and I just felt really blessed by the support that I had in the room. And then I remember the talk back where I got invited to come down and share the stage with other actors and producers and directors whose work had been screened that night. And it was just a really great time of like talking about our work and our process, and the audience was so receptive, and every single film that screened that night was like really, really good, and it just felt good to be a part of like a really strong screening block. So it was so many wins wrapped up in that experience, from the audition to the filming of it, meeting friends. Like 2 of the other leads in the film, they were in really big shows, like The Expanse, Keon Alexander from The Expanse, and of course I'm drawing a blank on the other actress's name right now, but she had just done a big role in Lin-Manuel Miranda's West Side Story, the remake. And sometimes you can kind of assess how you're doing in life by who you're next to. Not always, because sometimes I believe that we are in seasons of like hiding, where God hides us from visibility or hides us from, whatever we're after. Is kind of like a rose. I like to call myself a rose that grows in the dark, or a rose that grew in the dark, or like a lotus, something that grew out of a swamp. Because a lot of the times my career feels so obscure, and it feels like I'm known and celebrated in like very like small like pockets and places, and sometimes that can feel like it has the potential to devalue who you are and what you offer to the thing that you do. But in reality, all of that is a part of who you are, how you respond to obscurity, how you respond to kind of being hidden. And then sometimes, like with this project, this film, How Soon Is Now, that screened at the LA Shorts Festival, I looked around the room and it was like a well-known cinematographer, a special effects guy, well-known actors, budding director. And I look around the room and I'm like, well, if I'm here and they're here and we're side by side, then that means something about me too. So just, you know, it was an incredible experience in my career, one of my favorites. Alternate reality was such a fun, short-lived, but fun experience. And thank you so much for even inviting me to collaborate with you on that. You know, right now I'm directing and co-executive producing a podcast called Black, Queer, and Divine, where we focus on conversations that center experiences from women or non-binary people who are Black, who identify as Black, who identify as queer, and who identify as divine. And we shot the first 4 episodes. I directed, did the cinematography, sound. It was a big undertaking. We shot that in November of last year. And then December, we realized that in order to make it through post-production for a project so large, because it was supposed to be 10 episodes that we were aiming to do for a full season, to do a project so large requires a lot of resources, whether that's liquid, cash, or whether that is a whole lot of bartering from collaborators and friends and supporters and, you know, whatever. Either way, it requires a lot to see a project through post-production and to get it done. So congratulations to you for this platform that you're doing. It's not easy. And I just want to recognize that and honor that, and thank you for creating this space to talk about goodness and being in pursuit of goodness. And, you know, I was talking to my co-collaborators recently, and I was like, you know, this is why a lot of independent projects die in post-production, because a lot of independent artists don't have the resources that it takes to get through post-production at a quality, at a level where you can actually release a thing and it be viable. It have all the elements. The sound is good, the picture is good, the editing is good, so that it can have some sort of, you know, production value or quality to it, where it can accomplish the thing that you have set out for it to accomplish. And right now, like with this project, we are struggling to get out of post-production because of that, limited resources. And you know, we live on an earth where resources they abound, right? You look at the ocean, and I know that a lot of our ocean is polluted right now from trash disposal and oil, and I believe that saving the planet can heal every other thing that we deal with in our society. Racism, sexism, ageism, classism, you know, education gap, like in anything, in any problem, I believe that if we take care of Mother Earth, everything else will will be taken care of as a ripple effect, as a domino effect. Right now, as an artist, my main focus is to reframe my understanding of abundance and resources and access to the abundance and resources that we have just on this rock we call Mother Earth. And to really put in my mind my capability, my ability to tap into those resources and achieve anything that I put my mind to. And the same thing for you, because I know that alternate reality, we stopped it because of, you know, the rights and, you know, money and crew and this and that and all the things. And I just, my prayer is that anything that you want to accomplish from this point forward, Bessie, I pray that it will never be because of a lack of resources, because that's just not true. And I pray that all the resources that both of us need creatively to do the things that we have been called to do and inspired to do and asked to do, vexed to do, that we would do it. Period, point blank. Right now, I am in post-production for a short film called 10 Till Tia Tawaki, and it's a historical fiction, period piece, drama. I'm so excited to share it with the world. Right now, I am almost through post-production. Thank God. The resources were there. And my next steps is to send it to the film festival circuit to, get some professional industry filmmaker, fellow filmmaker, artist eyes on it, and see what type of collaborations can come from that and connections. And then I'm planning to do launch parties in 3 major cities, LA, New York, and Virginia or DC. And to just share it with friends and families and supporters in all of those regions where I have family, friends, supporters, and I have lived and resided in community. And, just share it with the people. Really, I think one of the biggest things that I live and die by is sharing the work with the people, because what we do as artists is for the people. And I know a lot of projects, they get commissioned, or they get deals, or they get buyouts and this and that, and it never reaches the people that the projects were originally intended to reach. And so one of my goals is, as a creator, is to get stuff. When stuff comes in, let it marinate, let it resonate, let it create, and then get it out, and allow it to actually reach people, and then see what happens from there. So that's what's next for Miss Chanell Bell. Final thoughts from me. I just want to again say thank you so much, Bessie, for having me and sharing your platform with me and sharing your audience with me. I appreciate everyone who took the time to listen to what I have to say. It's just one thought in a sea of many. And if anything that I said strikes a chord or resonates or has inspired or anything, and anybody wants to reach out, I'm not on social media, but my email is inkhorn9@gmail.com. Inkhorn, like the actual writing device, inkhorn9@gmail.com, and you can reach out. I love conversing with all different kinds of peoples and all different kinds of ways of life and all different kinds of thoughts and beliefs, and so so I'm an open book. Thank you.
Another round of painkiller?
No, I feel like I just had some.
6 hours ago.
Oh. No, D.
Oh, come on. We haven't accidentally killed a patient in over a week.
Hey, what are you doing?
Excuse me, who are you?
What is that? What's in here?
Pain medication. He's due for his next dose. The order just came through. My boss just fired me.
What? Why?
Because I missed that conference. They said they can no longer handle the unpredictability of my personal life. And this is the second job I've lost in a year.
I'm so sorry.
It's not fair. Thank you.
Now! Freedom! 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 Louder! Freedom! Louder! Freedom! What do we want now? Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
Beautiful. Proud. I must
be respected. I must be protected. I am somebody.
The righteous will grin, and when we strike wicked down, saying goodness will win.